Hello, and welcome to this roundup of my 5 favorite romance novels that I read this month. I'm Olivia, your favorite resource for book recommendations you can easily screenshot, and you're watching Random Olive Reads. The Duke Buys a Bride by Sophie Jordan is book 3 of the Rogue File series. Marcus has run away from his ducal responsibilities after he catches his best friend with his stepmother in a compromising position, and he's on his way to his estate in the north of Scotland. On the way there, he happens across a village wife auction and buys/saves the girl who is being so crudely sold off. Alice has been married in name only to her late father's friend since the age of 15 and provided care of the man's children and household. Her childhood friend was supposed to bid on her during the auction so they could start their new lives together, but that man disappeared and didn't show up. Although she's purchased by Marcus, she has no idea who he is or if he's even trustworthy. He declares that theirs won't really be a marriage and that he will employ her as a housekeeper at his estate. We end up embarking on a road trip romance here, traveling on horseback, stopping at various inns, and running into some thugs. This book had a really interesting setup, and it was nice to see Marcus slowly let down his walls and realize what a privileged life he's led so far. When the Duke Loved Me by Lydia Lloyd is book 1 of the Rake Chronicle series. If you enjoy historical romances that involve a mystery or a quest, this one will definitely be for you. We start with a garden tryst that goes bad when the Duke's heir and a country miss find out that the other person is a longtime family enemy due to prior scandal. We jump 7 years later to find out that John, the new Duke, is stuck executing a really cumbersome component of his father's will in order to prevent further scandal to be heaped on to his sister's reputation. He needs to find his father's former lover and give her an inheritance in order to fulfill the will and also save his sister's dowry. John needs the help of the woman's niece, Catherine, who has pretty much borne the brunt of the old family scandal and now lives in poverty with some other family. Over the course of the book, we learned that the old Duke's indiscretion was revealed very loudly and caused a great deal of upheaval for both of the families involved. Catherine agrees to help John locate her aunt in exchange for money, but she has very little hope of finding her because she was never seen again. While John and Catherine try to stay serious and professional with each other, it's clear they're still attracted to each other and wish that their family circumstances weren't so complicated. I really liked learning more about the past scandal as bits and pieces of the history unfolded while they tried to find her aunt. Everything tied together really well and was really interesting to uncover. And of course, the steamy romance between John and Catherine was exceptional. Knockout by Sarah MacLean is book 3 of the Hell's Bell series. Lady Imogen is the chemical explosive expert of the bells and is often spotted at the scene of the crime collecting her own evidence, much to the dismay of Scotland Yard's Detective Inspector Tommy. While these two aren't exactly teaming up, they're both trying to solve the same crime and they keep running into each other. At some point, Tommy is tasked with finding an Earl's missing sister to keep himself in line with a promotion. Of course, that sister is Imogen, and she's not really missing at all. Throughout the book, Imogen is the one pursuing Tommy, and he's the one who's hesitating because of his social station or lack thereof. But Imogen's self-esteem takes the rejection much differently. Once they do finally team up, the sparks are well worth it, although Tommy will have to decide whether to trust Imogen and the Bells or to trust the police. This was another excellent book in this series with women fighting for themselves and for their own rights. An Earl to Remember by Stacey Reed is book 2 of the Unforgettable Love series. Georgiana is an impoverished orphan caring for her 3 younger sisters, but hopes to make a living as a fancy chef for aristocrats. When she gets the opportunity to cater an Earl's yacht party, she is excited at the prospect, despite the Earl's scandalous reputation. However, an argument aboard the ship leads to Georgiana being sent home without proper payment. Sometime later, maybe a few days, our rakish Earl Daniel somehow falls off the ship and is recovered along a shore near Georgiana's village, with no memory of who he is. He does vaguely recognize Georgiana, and in order for her to prevent further scandal, she claims him as her husband. She brings him home to recover and help assist with chores around the house, kind of in a retaliation for her owed wages. Of course, she's feeling terribly guilty along the way, but also grows to admire his work ethic and his kindness towards her younger sisters. Daniel's memory returns in bits and pieces, but he's charmed by Georgiana and really respects the way that she takes care of her family. I enjoyed reading the slow burn, wary romance between Georgiana and Daniel, despite knowing that he will eventually get upset with her for her deceptions. In Which Winnie Halifax is Utterly Ruined by Alexandra Vasti is book 3 of the Halifax Hellions series. This book you cannot purchase. You actually have to subscribe to the author's newsletter to get it, but it is well worth it. Winnie just wants to rent a cottage and start a sheep farm, but isn't able to secure the lease as a single woman, so she makes up a fake estranged husband by the name of Spencer Halifax to secure her position. 10 years later, Spencer is notified by his best friend that he might actually be legally married to this woman who's using his name. He travels to her farm in Wales to find her and bring her back to London to settle some sort of annulment. Along the way, Spencer and Winnie find themselves attracted to each other and wanting more. Except that Winnie is super hesitant to overburden Spencer since she's already inconvenienced him with this whole fake marriage thing, and she doesn't want to be selfish and manipulative the way that her mother was. Spencer is an all-around nice guy here and definitely lusts after Winnie. This book is humorous and steamy in all the best ways, and we also get to find out what's going on with Spencer's twin sisters. This one was another great book from Alexandra Vasti. Thank you so much for watching this video. Links to all of these books are in the description box. Like and subscribe so you don't miss future videos, and you can follow me on Instagram @randomolive.